Right, so in this section we will be talking about drum patterns and samples. We won't be using the song mode right here, we'll be using pattern mode. So make sure you are on pattern mode for this part, where you see my mouse at the top. And what we will do is first we need to have our channel rack open to see what we are doing. Or this is for our pattern right here. So channel rack is F6, or you can click up here to find your channel rack, and this is where we will create our loop. So the loop, we'll find out in a moment what that is. So we need a sound to put into this pattern. So let's say that you should have this folder here on the left in the menu, packs. So go to packs and choose some sound, maybe a drum. So we can go to drums. Kick is your bass drum or heavy sounding drum, which sounds like this. Right, so we will choose one of these. I'm going to choose this one, FPC1, and I advise you to follow along as I'm doing this. So what you want to do is just simply left click, hold down left click and drag across to your channel rack, and this can add the sound right here, or we can put right here send to playlist as an audio track, which will put it into your playlist, but that's song mode, and we're not interested in song mode right now. You can put it as an audio track or an instrument track, but yeah, we will do that later, or focus on that later. So yeah, the main thing I would say is just to drag it. You can open in new channel. You see here it will open a new one, but for me dragging is good enough. So, and if you want to delete this from your channel rack, you have two of them, two of the same, and you don't want to, you can hold Alt and delete, or you can right click delete is another way. So yeah, just drag this here, that's fine. So what we want to do now is I like to rename this, so the same way as we did for the drums at the top, we can use our mouse scroll, or we can right click here and we can rename color and icon. We can clone it, again if you want to make a second one, or delete. You can do many things, replace this with a different thing. You can also replace it with a different kick. Maybe you prefer this kick, you can drag onto the same, exact same layer, I guess we could call it, and it will change. Right. So to play this sound, I'm just using my mouse, left click. After I left click this, you have this sound wave right here, and you can just left click on this, or you can use your keyboard, the different keys. Usually you want to be using the comma, the key which is a comma next to M, and this one will be the standard C, the note C, which is the sound. It will be the typical sound for your sample. So you see right here is a C5, and this is how it should sound when you press the comma next to M, but people's keyboards will be different, so for me this is how it is. Okay, so now once we have our sound and we rename it to something, kick, or maybe kick 1 I like to call it, or main kick or something, then you see that you are in drums. We are in the drums loop right here, or the drums pattern. So, and we have drums here from the previous video that you saw. We added drums to our playlist. So once we open this channel rack again, and we can go to our kick and right click, or maybe no, we will start a bit simpler. So we have these different things here which we could call steps, and these can create your pattern or your sound. So from this, if I put one on every point right here, I can just left click and drag across, it will put one on every point, or right click and drag will delete. Or if I put one here, left click and then right click to delete. So this would sound, we're on pattern mode right here, and then we can press enter, and enter will play this for us. So let's hear what this sounds like. So it's just a constant kick, right? Using this 115 beats per minute. So let's say, for example, we slow this tempo. So you can drag with your mouse wheel, or you can left click and drag up and down to change the speed. So we change this to 80, and you'll hear that this now becomes slower. Or we can change it to 150 for example, and it will be much quicker. Okay, so yeah, you get the point of that. So let's stay on 100 for now. So to make your creative drum loop, let's say we put one kick on the beginning or each four, right? We have 1 2 3 4, and then 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So there are not too many kicks happening at once, so it doesn't sound crazy. So let's have a listen to this. So you can hear it's really stable. It's got a constant rhythm to it. So it's a good start. And then we want to add a different sound, because of course just a kick would be boring. So we could go to a snare, maybe, and a snare is another drum sound, which sounds like this. So there are many types of snares that you can hear. So let's say I want this one, FPC, rim. So again, we can just drag it here. We can drag it below or above the kick, but never on the kick, because this will replace it. So we want it below. I want it below anyway. I can call this rim 1, and we can place this wherever we like to make the rhythm, right, the pattern. So let's say I put it right here. So you can see I have the kick, and between the kick is a rim, and it's a very even pattern, so it will sound like this. Okay, so this would be a very, very simple drum pattern. We could even delete some, we could change it to something like this. So you can hear that the rim plays for every second kick, which is what I just created right here. And again, you can keep making more sounds, and these will all be in your drum pattern. So let's add one more sound, a hi-hat. So this one, 808 CH, and CH is usually short for closed hat or closed hi-hat, and OH is open hi-hat. So if you see this term CH and OH, this is what they mean. The open hi-hat is usually a long sound, and the closed hi-hat is a short sound. Okay, so I want the closed hi-hat, so I will rename it to closed hi-hat 1, and I will play it every 4 right here. So you can see it's evenly spread between the kicks. You have a kick, then a space, then a hi-hat, then a space, then a kick, and a rim, then a space, like this. And it will create a very even sounding pattern. So let's have a listen to this one. Yeah, so that sounds nice to me. It's even just a nice chill beat that you could listen to while you're studying or something. It has no other sounds, just some drums. And yeah, so this is how you can start your first pattern, and how you can work with different patterns in your song playlist. So we could again right click to remove, or left click to add. And another important point I forgot to mention, make sure that you are on this paint tool, which is the letter B, and you see there is a this, one moment. Yeah, so if you go here, you are using paint, the paint tool, then you can use the left click and right click to add and delete, or to left click and drag to add, or right click and drag to delete. So it's a very quick way to add different patterns to your playlist. But if you are on a different mode, like you're on draw mode, you cannot left click and drag. So left click and drag will just move one clip that you add, or one of these that you add from the channel rack, right? So I like to be on paint mode pretty much all the time. There is deletes mode, which I don't ever use because I can just right click on paint mode and this will delete. So I don't use that. We can mute. Mute means you click on something, it will mute that clip. So you can do that, and you can just click again to unmute it. The others I use Splice, but we will get into that. This cuts your clip in half, for example, or you do it here, it will cut here, and then you can go back to paint mode, and you can move your clip by left clicking and dragging. So you could move your clips like this, and if you are on song mode, it would play what you have here. And let's have a listen. So if I press enter and we listen on song mode what this sliced pattern sounds like, we will hear. Yeah, so, and this will just keep looping. So once it finishes the fourth bar right here, this fourth bar, and I'm highlighting this by right clicking and dragging again, and if you do this and you press enter, it will only play your selection. So this red area will only play, and it will keep repeating like that. So you can do that, or you can deselect this area by double left clicking, and it will remove your selection from this area, so you can play the other parts. So double left click to remove that red. Okay, so that's clear, I think, and we will move on to the second part of this now. So I will see you in that video.